All right. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to today's presentation. So glad that you are here, that you made it. And let's get started, shall we? So, today's presentation is how to adapt your local business marketing to quickly attract and activate customers who still want your products and services, especially in today's market. So, with that being said, who's ready to get this show on the road? I know I am. I've been excitedly waiting to show this to you. Let me just get this out of the way so that I'm clicking the right buttons and doing the right things. Sometimes I hate technology. Sometimes I love it. Most of the time, I'm on the fence about it, but it is what it is. So let's get started. So the three secrets that we'll be covering in today's presentation are as follows. Marketing secret number one, what worked this crazy year to attract customers? And there's lots of opportunities to do it. We're going to kind of be looking into that. Secret number two, the 3 ways 2020 confirmed finding customers on the internet. I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with the yellow pages that is currently melting on your front porch. And I guarantee what I just said applies to at least one of you listening, or you know of one because you've driven past the house and you've seen some book thing melting on somebody's front porch. That's literally how much people care about the yellow pages. But I digress. We're not covering any of that, but you'll like secret number two if you want to kind of find out what's working now. And secret number three, the 4-step framework you'll need for 2023 and the years to come. All right, but before I begin, I'd like to go through this quick quote with you guys. I don't know. I like starting it off with a quote, kind of sets the mood. Being challenged in life is inevitable. Being defeated is optional, by Roger Crawford. How many of you agree with this? How many of you disagree? How many of you are ambivalent? It's totally a mindset thing. And yes, that's the important thing we're going to be discussing here. Mindset. Uh, there are challenges in life. Yes, challenge breeds opportunity. But as I look back, even on the challenges, of my own life and our agency has faced, I realized that, while in the moment I wasn't enjoying it, the truth is that my business was stronger and myself after getting through it. And I'm sure the same applies for you. Uh, uh, when Steadfast Social Media first started, for example, we were going after a completely different target audience. We had a completely different service and digital offering. And then I had to shut that department down, and we had to change a whole bunch of things. I was not happy throughout all of it at all, in the very least. But there are good things and there are bad things that came out of it. But that it turned out to be a blessing in disguise. I learned a lot of things there, good, bad, or otherwise, and I take those lessons with me into today. And just the fact that you're here is telling me that you're not willing to let yourself be defeated. And those are the exact people I love helping. So thanks for taking the time and investing it to be here at today's presentation. So really, thank you for making this investment in yourself. So let's talk. Who is this presentation for? Well, this is for anyone who wants more business. This is for businesses who are considering a pivot. I know for those of you who don't like mice uh, on screen, thanks for reminding me. Businesses who are considering a pivot, businesses who want clarity and certainty in where they invest their efforts. Uh, and at this point, you're like, "Yep, well, that's cool. I feel like it fits. This presentation is for me. I'm interested. But who are you?" Great question. Well, my name is Taylor Merrick, and my agency is Steadfast Social Media. Our background is digital marketing. About 4 years ago, I started Steadfast Social Media after freelancing the previous 10 years for large shipping corporations, small local bakeries, former NFL professional athletes, veterinary clinics across the pond, just to name a few. I've helped plenty, and I noticed something very similar. They were all asking for the similar things, maybe in a different way, but very similar strategies, but without the understanding of the bigger picture. So, some certifications and partnerships, just to let you know where we stand. We're a proud member of the New Berlin Chamber of Commerce. We have great connections there, great local resource for us and businesses in the area, and we're proud of that fact. We're also a Review Lead certified partner. We're also a Hootsuite certified professional with social marketing. We're certified by HubSpot Academy, and we're a member of Social Media Manager Pro. We're also an agency partner with WP Engine. That's one of the prestigious web hosts out there. I know you've heard of GoDaddy. It ain't no GoDaddy. I'm going to tell you that much. But we can have that discussion when we come to it. But we are a agency partner with WP Engine, just so that you're aware. And we don't have that sticker on yet, but we will soon. So with that out of the way, are you ready to get started into the marketing secrets? Marketing secret number 1, what worked this crazy year to attract customers? And there's lots of opportunities to do it. It may seem obvious, but internet traffic around the world is surging to levels that have never been seen before. And that was rightly so in 2020, but it's sustained since then. And with this surge comes an opportunity to get your business in front of prospects at an unprecedented level. Like, even look at that article. How many people are using the internet in 2023? 5.16 billion. That's crazy. Equivalent to 64.4% of the world's total population. It's connected, yeah, and more being connected every single day. Now, if you couple that with the fact that ad prices on major platforms are dropping due to a lot of businesses pausing their marketing efforts, due to it's really weird. Depending on these larger companies, depending on what the culture storm is currently, depending on what the economical storm is currently, depending on what the weather is, there's just a lot of variability going on up and down between businesses wanting to advertise and then dropping it entirely, and then platforms are left scrambling, trying to fill that gap. You've got kind of the perfect storm of visibility and awareness at lower rates than ever in any medium. Think of it this way. It's kind of like you're getting local advertising pricing for Super Bowl visibility. Awesome. And it's right to your target audience. And we'll actually get into some of that. And but you might be thinking, well, that's great, but nobody wants to buy what I have. I'm sitting here, I'm pounding on doors, I'm pounding the pavement, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And at one point, I actually thought the same thing too, until I decided to do some research. Now, Google has a tool called Google Trends that will allow you to look at how many searches are happening for any keyword. It's actually quite informative. Here's a Google Trends chart for a keyword that people no longer really use today, but it was super popular in the past, probably between '04 and '08 and a little bit in 2013. Can anyone guess what I searched for here? It was Blockbuster Video. And they seem to be making a comeback of sorts. They're kind of teasing it on their Twitter profile. They have one store location left, but they're kind of like teasing Netflix on and off. It's quite hilarious when I do tune into their Twitter feed. But we all know that Blockbuster back then was a category king, who was ousted by the likes of Netflix and Redbox. And see, this is what it looks like when nobody wants what you have to offer any longer. And it was kind of what I was expecting to see when I was searching for various keywords that our clients are targeting, and just industries in general. So what I actually found was really surprising. And this is industry after industry. I didn't see the downward curve I expected. I saw a fairly consistent pattern. It's kind of interesting. Some of it has weather to do with it, but here's HVAC. Here's plumbers. And in some cases, I saw the search volume go up, but most of them definitely remain somewhat flat or just a slight downturn. And here's lawyers. And just to be clear, it's really unlikely that anybody would be searching for plumber, New Berlin, lawyer, New Berlin, window replacement, New Berlin, unless they actually wanted to pay for those services. And then sometimes they don't even put in the keyword. And so Google has to locally source it in the area, which they're really good at, by the way, that it doesn't even matter whether the city name is present or not. And even for dentists, when dentists weren't open during that portion of time, you can see they had a dip there, but people were still searching for them. It wasn't as high of a demand. It bounced back, but people still needed them, but it didn't go away. Quite interesting. Here's pool cleaning, and you can kind of see the trends, how it's working across the U.S. And you can very simply do the roller coaster ride here by saying summer, winter, summer, winter, summer, winter. Who cleans a pool in the winter? For landscaping, similar thing here. Summer, winter, summer, winter, summer, winter. Can't cut the grass in the winter. Window replacement, generally it trends well when there is a warmer pattern of time, generally spring, summer, and fall, to replace the windows, because who would want to replace the window in winter? There's still demand, but as you can see, they're kind of trending up. Furniture, of course, people still need furniture. That's still been a thing, and it's still been going on. People are still looking for physical goods as well. Oh, and for cars too, just in case you forgot. There's still a huge demand going on for cars. The car industry is in a very interesting dynamic right now, alongside the housing market, in terms of great fluctuation between supply of housing and cars, and the demand for it, and currently what's available. And what people are willing to pay for it, and what they're snapping it up for. With the car dealerships, that kind of includes both used car dealerships and new car dealerships, just so that we're clear. But it seems super clear to me that the opportunity to sell these goods and services still exists. Consumers are still looking for help, and they're still spending money. And the issue here is that most businesses are not positioning themselves to take advantage of it. This is a very simple problem to solve. The truth is, your online presence is more important now more than ever. That means there's more internet traffic. Ad costs are down. Searches are holding strong. People are desperately looking for answers from leaders such as yourself. What does that mean? Well, that means that your business has the ability to be on the main stage right now. So how do you use this attention? Great question. Lead with hope, not fear. How you act will teach your customers how to act. Look at what's happening right now. You're here listening to this message because you're interested in what we have to say. It's not unique to us. I've spoken to many a digital marketing, social media, website agency, and we talk about very similar things. This is available to you right now. What you're listening to, this presentation. You need to focus on value. See, this is going to go a long way in building the trust you need to attract and convert people into a customer. So consider trying new things that you haven't considered before because you didn't need to. And this might be in relation to how you deliver your services, the types of services you offer, or the way you find customers. Restaurants had to figure out quick, fast, and in a hurry. If they didn't change their delivery model, they closed up and shipped out, because there was no dine-in during the pandemic. During the hotel side of things, they had to figure out exactly what to do then there too. The bigger ones held out because they could. The smaller ones closed because they couldn't. Tourism got a big hit. So yeah, be flexible. Try things you once ignored or were closed to. And here's the truth. If you have a business and you want it to grow over the next few months and years, now is always the time to attract customers. And in this section, we said we were going to cover why now is the best time to attract customers. And to repeat myself, here's why. Now is always the time to attract customers to your business. You see, when I started Steadfast Social Media, it was time. When we had to shut down one of our departments, it was time. And today, more than ever, now is the time. The worst possible thing you can do is to stop investing in attracting customers because they're the lifeblood of your business. What are you doing if you're not marketing to them? Bring them in, attract them in. And the truth is, when I looked into this, a lot of successful businesses were running on autopilot. You see, and then I can see how this would apply. Uh, You'd stop worrying so much about how you were attracting customers. It was just happening. People were showing up. People were buying, and now it's stopped for a lot of people. And for a lot of businesses, they were just on autopilot. I want to make an announcement right now. Autopilot is officially off right now. It's time to get back into that seat. It's time to start learning. It's time to start digging deep and time to start making some serious decisions. It's time to get back to the fundamentals, to focus on the things that built your business. But, you may have just forgotten or plain neglected for a while. And we're going to be covering some of that. But before we do, let's discuss secret number 2. And you can see that there's a lot of opportunity out there, right? Don't get me wrong. Um, but out of curiosity's sake, who's surprised by what I just shared? Who's ready for me to jump into secret number 2? 2020 confirmed the 3 ways of finding customers on the internet. I'm sure you're just itching to find out. Well, what did I find out? Can't wait to tell you. So, the truth is, businesses want to take action, but it's really easy to get overwhelmed. They're told that they should build a website, create a Facebook ad, post on social media, do SEO, do pay per click, etc., etc. And that's just on the digital marketing side of things. And that list, for simplicity's sake, I didn't put everything in because I know your brain's gonna pop. On the right hand side, traditional agencies are telling them to buy bus bench ads, create a commercial, get on the radio, etc., etc. One of my clients just said, "Hey, I got contacted by Valpak. They're wanting me to advertise in their mailings." So we had a great conversation there. But just bombarded by people, marketing industries, salespeople, individuals, all the time. And the problem that comes from that, and that I see most often, is that businesses get sold on these strategies, I'll call them, without considering if it's the right tool for the bigger picture goal or truly understanding who it's going to attract. You see, what they don't understand is, and I'm not knocking the other traditional or digital marketing agencies out there, not all marketing strategies serve the same goal. At our agency, we take the time to help the client understand that in order to market effectively, they need to identify what it is they are trying to catch. As you can see the question on the slide, what are you fishing for? Is kind of the simplest way that I can explain this concept. But before we get into what we call the customer's journey, I want to make sure that everyone understands something called the buying cycle concept. See, every customer you've ever had went through these specific stages to become a customer. First, awareness. They became aware of a problem they had, and whether they were aware of it or not, they probably started looking. Stage 2, consideration. They realized, okay, I actually have a problem. I need that solved now. I need to find out a solution, an answer. Now I'm actively researching and I'm looking because I want to make a decision. Stage 3, the purchase. That's obviously where they found their solution provider and they purchase said solution to their problem. And then depending on how that process goes, good, bad, or otherwise, they kind of become an advocate, good, bad, or otherwise, which then leads to more people becoming aware and more people going in consideration and more people purchasing. This is what we call the buying cycle. And I want to cover something that I see more often than not is unbalanced versus a balanced marketing approach. I see when I talk to businesses from time to time, some businesses that are just focusing on one stage of the buyer cycle versus other businesses that I talk to who have multiple stages, but they're all active and they're all working into the goal of the customer buying cycle. Uh, let me click this here. And I want you to understand that the strategies you choose will influence these four stages, whether it's awareness, consideration, purchase, or advocacy. The problem some businesses have is that their marketing is unbalanced. So, what this looks like, for an example, is say that for stage four advocacy, this is all that a business focuses on for their business. See, this is common for businesses that fall kind of in this section. Um, all of their customers come from word of mouth and referrals. But the problem is that there's nothing proactive to bring customers to that buying stage. There's nothing being done for awareness. There's nothing being done for consideration. There's just advocacy and purchase, advocacy and purchase, advocacy and purchase. At some point, it needs to become a complete cycle. Um, Other businesses I've discussed and talked to are those who really only focus on stage 2, getting in front of what we call the hot buyers, the people who woke up that day knowing that they wanted uh, to buy the product or service, and there's the company right there, and they purchase it, and then that's it. There's nothing done with advocacy. There's nothing done with awareness, and so the businesses, without even looking at their marketing spend or their marketing budget, I can tell you they're paying through the teeth just to get in front of those hot buyers to buy from them, and then they bought from them, and then they have to go back and get more, and back and get more, and back and get more. That is super expensive. Um, More on that later. But if you understand the bigger picture and the strategies that you pick cover all four stages, if you balance that out, you hit all the stages, you can ensure that your marketing strategies that you picked are geared to cover the entire buyer cycle from awareness to consideration to purchase to advocacy and repeating itself. It's super simple. So let's dive into the 3 ways to find customers. There's really only 3. We're kind of getting back to the basics here and trying to simplify how to understand who you want to attract and how to get in front of them. The 3 ways are active searchers, passive prospects, and referral customers. So I'm gonna let you in on a couple of quick secrets here. If you want customers fast, in the door fast, what you need to do is target active searchers. The quickest path to that is to target people who are already in stage 2. These are people who know they have a problem they want to solve, and they are actively searching for someone to solve it. We just need to put you right in front of them, and they will buy. It's proven. Um, Active searchers are what some people call hot buyers, and you probably heard me say to that before. I tend to use those terms quite often. They're active searchers, hot buyers, same people. In a nutshell, they got their credit card in hand and are ready to buy. And you might wonder, well, Taylor, why would you target anybody except active searchers? The people who have money to buy now. And here's why. There is a natural limit to the number of active searchers there are at any given time. Usually you can't influence that. But what you're forgetting is that you're only touching the tip of the iceberg. There are a ton more people sitting just below the waterline, just the rest of the iceberg, called passive prospects that are just waiting to buy. So if you're like, well, all right, there's a ton of people. Maybe I just want to market to the whole iceberg. Cool. If you want quantity, if you want a lot of customers, what you need to do here is you need to target passive prospects. And the quickest path to that is to target people who are in stage one. These are people who may or may not have a problem, um, but you want to put your message in front of them so that when they start considering, you've already made yourself aware. You've done some of those touch points already, and it makes it much easier to uh, get them to go from the consideration to the purchase and have you kind of lead them for the entirety of that process. These are known as future buyers too, passive prospects, future buyers. Really, the definition for these type of people are they just need to be warmed up. They're not hot just yet. They need to be warmed up, and your touch points will kind of be the spark that does that. All right, so we've covered stage 1, stage 2. I don't need to cover stage 3. That's something that you do, that you're the expert at. The purchase, the delivery of the service or good. But you're probably saying, well, Taylor, what about referrals? What about word of mouth people? Well, if you want a strong referral base from happy customers, if you focus on stage 4, advocacy, putting attention on reviews, as word of mouth nowadays is completely different, this is how you get a strong, happy referral base that flows right back into stage 1. People now trust online reviews just as much as a personal referral. People in this stage also need to be reminded to come back and buy more, thereby increasing their value with you. But they're far easier to remarket to because they've already purchased from you. So you don't have to go out and find them again. They're in your pool. They're in your lake. All they need to do is come back and buy more, and it's not going to cost you as much to just get a message right back out to them again. Super cheap. Actually, in most cases, you can do it for the super low cost of free, because obviously they bought from you. They know who you are. You don't have to sell them again, and you have their contact info. You can just get right in front of them. Super simple, super easy. That's what you can do with those in stage 4. These are known as word of mouth buyers. And when you now look at these marketing strategies based on how it influences the buyer cycle, and you see that bigger picture that I was talking about, deciding on what strategy to use becomes 1,000 times easier. You see, marketing efforts will only ever influence active, passive, or referrals. And what you're looking at on this slide right now is something we call a like a prospect avatar. You see, not all customers are needing the same thing at the same time. They have different reasons to come to you, and so we want to make sure those are understood before we start marketing to them. So, in the example here, this is for a dentist. And so they're looking for like a customer cycle identifier. So the dental prospect avatar says, okay, so we have a handful of different avatars. We have people new to the area who are looking for a new dentist. Where do they fall in terms of the 4 cycles, the 4 stages that I just covered? They fall into consideration stage. They're new to the area. They're looking for a new dentist. Stage 2. People who don't have a dentist, uh, but don't go regularly and aren't looking. Those are passive prospects. They are stage 1. Are you tracking with me so far? Okay. Someone with a dental emergency, where do you think they fall? Yeah, stage 3. They need to purchase something right now from a dentist right now. Uh, like literally burning hot money in hand, they'll go to you. Um, for the avatar person who has another dentist but may not be 100% satisfied, but aren't really going out of their way to find a better option, that would be stage 2 consideration. Now, if you're talking about an avatar being a patient that you've seen in the past, but they don't come in as often as they should, they don't have a scheduled appointment, well, they're already a customer. You've done service for them. They're stage 4. All you have to do is reach back out to them. They're in the advocacy cycle. Okay, so now that I've shared that, there's still lots of opportunity, and you know exactly who you can market to. Who wants me to now give them the exact framework that we use to turn those two things into a marketing strategy that makes sense? And this is kind of where the tires hit the road, as it were. Secret number 3, the only 4-step marketing framework you'll need for 2023 and years to come. But you might still be wondering, why are framework important? Why is a framework important? Rather, sorry. Yes, I can speak English. Frameworks are important because they give you the structure that you need to make strategies succeed. They give you the bigger picture you need to put the puzzle pieces together into something that will work. And I hear this often, that, XYZ plumber is crushing it. He keeps on growing, but we do a way better job than he does. As a matter of fact, I heard that about a chiropractor in my area not too long ago. I've repeated myself multiple times with that particular example because it's true. It's true. And I'm just using a plumber as another example, but it's true. But the complaint comes in, he keeps on growing, but we're doing a better job. We tried doing everything they're doing, but it's just not working for us. Has that happened to you? You've seen a competitor just out there crushing it. Well, you might start to think that the marketing strategies just don't work, and you've tried it all. Frustratingly, you just throw in a towel and give up. Well, this past couple of years, my right shoulder started bothering me more. And this happened because I dislocated it twice about a decade back in the span of 3 months. So, yeah, it's crazy. One was out of state, one was in the States. Long story short, uh, 10 years ago, dislocated a shoulder. Uh, I thought it would never heal properly, having reoccurring issues from it. I tried to do the best that I could, but I never really addressed it properly. Tried a couple things, had enough, right? Okay, so here I am. I went from stage 1 to stage 2. Consideration, what do I need to do? I'm getting sick and tired of this. This is painful. This hurts. I want to get this solved now. I'm looking for a solution. Well, I decided to visit a local physical therapist. And he took one look, knew exactly what was wrong and what I needed to do to get back to normal. And just in case you're wondering, that picture's not me. It's just a placeholder image I found on the internet. So that's not me. Um, but um, yeah, the therapist who you're seeing on screen now is actually my therapist. His name is Sam, and yeah, he took one look and knew exactly what I needed to do. He said, "You've probably been told by the doctor at the ER when he popped your shoulder back in, your arm's never going to work properly again. Your shoulder is now loosened, and the ligaments is all jiggly, and it's never gonna you're never gonna have the strength or flexibility that you are used to because now you stretched out your shoulder because you dislocated it." Well, I said, "How'd you know that?" And he's like, "Because I hear it all the time." Uh, I'm going to tell you right now that doctor is lying. We can get you back to 100% flexibility, 100% strength, everything that you need in that shoulder, and we can take care of that pain problem that you're having because your shoulder is trying to cope in a way that is not natural, and we need to coax it back into how your shoulder should go. And so we started on some exercises and a kind of a treatment plan. The results weren't immediate, and I had to work for it. And as time went on, the exercises gradually became tougher and more were added in. And I couldn't cheat the exercise or I would feel it later. I couldn't skip a day either. Believe me, I tried. And I felt it later and I regretted it. And I was like, oh, for crying out loud. But if I wanted to get back to normal, this is what I had to do. And it was Sam's holistic approach to correcting and strengthening all of the muscles that I needed to use that would get me lasting results. I didn't go for just a single tactic or pop a pill to feel better about it, just so we're clear. Um, so, with that story out of the way, uh, how does that apply to your marketing? Great question. Oftentimes I hear prospects and clients tell me that they've tried a strategy that I'm suggesting and it didn't work. And just like me with my therapist, they probably weren't implementing a full strategy that their competitor was. Maybe they were doing SEO, but their reviews and website weren't up to par, which would be similar to working out and not doing anything different with your diet. You see what I'm trying to lay down here? Let me walk you through what we call the local domination roadmap. Everyone that comes to us wants one thing, that's more customer activity. But in order to get that, you need to follow the steps that are outlined here. Here's the puzzle pieces you need to win. 9 times out of 10, a customer comes to us saying that they've tried digital marketing and they didn't get any results. However, they didn't follow the steps in the right order or skipped some altogether. My goal with this presentation and in further conversations I hope to have with you is to show you how implementing these in the correct order can get you the customer activity you want. And it starts from the bottom up. Okay. Let's start with the marketing foundation. This is where you establish credibility as a business. This is critical. You're establishing credibility, you're communicating what your business does, and you're creating trust required to capture customers. This is great for converting and maximizing existing traffic, word of mouth, and referrals. I'm going to cover this briefly. Some of the strategies we look at are websites, reviews, and social media, and a Google Business Profile. It's important. Um, but more to the point, why is it important? Because without a strong foundation, all other marketing strategies will suffer or fail. I've seen it happen. I talked to a company that spent $4,500 on a lead gen campaign that was promising to get them customers in the door, and they didn't get one. And when I looked at the bigger picture and I looked from their foundation up, I found a massive crack where guaranteed that money flowed straight out of, and it either A, flowed into the competitor's pocket because they took all the customers, or B, it flowed right out into the void, never to be seen or heard of again. And it was such a sad story. Maybe I'll tell it more at one time. I've told it often, but it is so true. You need to have a strong foundation. It's 2023. Okay. I want to introduce you to another concept that we call the trust tipping point. In order for any sale to occur, you need to overcome the buyer's skepticism and build their trust. And this is something that we've all experienced. This is nothing new. In fact, it happens every time we buy anything. It's the exact moment in time that your consideration for a purchase turns into desire and absolute certainty. And when that skepticism has been completely overcome, you then become excited to buy. And if you've ever been considering a purchase on Amazon, you've experienced this. Just for an example, say you read that one review that resonated so much with you that you decided to purchase, you ran back up to the top of the page and you click buy now and put it in your cart. Your marketing foundation is all about helping to overcome their skepticism and make the sale. So, what strategies have an impact on your marketing foundation? Well, I'll give you 4 of them, and it's important that you have all 4 of these covered. Okay? Number 1, a professional website that communicates what you do. Critical. 2, an online reputation that shows you are the obvious choice. Definitely critical. If you don't do anything else with 3 and 4, 1 and 2 are your 1-2 combo punch. No, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Number 3, a complete Google listing that provides information and shows you're in business. Same with your Apple listing. That's a thing that rolled out this year. And if you're like, wait, what? Something else rolled out? Yep. Apple rolled out their own map system and their own business profile. You should probably talk to me about that further if you're interested in figuring out that listing. It's very similar to Google, though. And number 4, there's activity happening on your Facebook page and other social profiles. The truth is, your online presence is more important now more than ever. So ask yourself, what kind of an impression are you making? And I love this analogy when you think about it. It reflects a common issue we face as digital marketers. Some customers are coming to us with the storefront on the left asking us to start marketing this business. And we could send thousands of people there for sure. But I bet you'd all agree that the majority of people we send would never step foot in there, let alone buy something. The trust factor I was just talking about, right? The storefront on the right, however, is much more welcoming and would convert a ton more visitors that we send their way, right? I mean, it's only natural. That's the type of website that is ready for visitors. And when we build you a site, we aren't just building something pretty. We are making sure that we are creating a storefront that will convert the traffic we are sending your way. Not a work of art. It's a very custom experience designed to get a customer to do a specific call to action. The second credibility example is your online reviews. And for years when I freelanced, uh, when I propose web design or digital marketing services, the proposal would end by the prospect saying, "Well, that's great. Can you send me like 3 references I can call and I'll let you know if I decide to move forward?" And I can tell you right now that it's been years since anybody has asked me that question. And that's because of the positive reviews on Google are checking off that box by the prospect. It's crazy, right? Same thing applies for restaurants. Sometimes you choose a restaurant based on their reviews. Don't lie to me. I know you do it. But it's important. And here are some statistics that demonstrate that online reviews are becoming more important than ever before. 93% of consumers read online reviews about a business before making their decision. 85% of them trust the online reviews they read as much as a personal recommendation. And this is a big eye opener. This is crazy, right? Like, how is it that somebody's reading a review from a complete stranger, but consider it just as good as if it was from their best friend? I don't know how, but that's a stated fact. 77% of consumers think that online reviews older than 3 months won't help. So asking family and friends to write a few reviews won't cut it. You see, consumers are getting smarter and smarter when it comes to reviews, and they won't fall for this. They want to see real reviews from real customers. So if the last one was last year, it won't help. So, and a lot of it has to do with, some people are afraid about being referred a dud. And that happened to me at at one point in not so recent past. I referred someone to someone I knew for business, and they came back to me and they said, "Hey, I just looked up their Google reviews. They're not that great, so I just went with somebody else, but I just wanted to let you know." And I was like, "Oh, well, thanks." But it got me thinking, this person went out of their way to tell me, and then I started thinking some more, but how many more people didn't say anything at all and just look for someone else off of a Google rating, off a Google review? Sure, don't want to refer a dud, so that is still something that keeps me up at night. Not so much anymore, but sometimes it does. Uh, don't quote me on that. But I'm sure you're starting to see just how important the marketing foundation is. Once your marketing foundation is in a good spot, then we can start to focus on getting your business in front of customers. Specifically, we can start looking at active searchers, the next tier up on the local domination roadmap. And that's the first logical step, active searchers. This is the low hanging fruit. These are the guys with the money in hand who are looking for help today. Here, what you're doing is you're creating local visibility so that customers can find you when they're looking for what you offer, even if they don't know you. So this is great for active searches on Google, Bing, and voice search. And some of the strategies that we look at are increasing your local reach, Google Business Profile, maxing that out, and some pay per click stuff, along with blogs. But these are the hot buyers who are searching for someone to help them solve their problem. More importantly, so if anybody's searching, I'm sure the first thing that comes to mind is Google, right? Here's a typical Google result when you're typing in this following keyword. If you're trying to get in front of people searching on Google, you really only have two options. One, you can pay to have an ad up at the top, and these are called pay-per-click ads because you pay every time somebody clicks on one of those ads. Or you could try to optimize your web presence so that you appear in the map listing in the bottom here in the local SEO. Sometimes referred to as the three pack or the map pack or the map listing, but this is an important section too. Okay. And for the purposes of today's marketing training and the goals that we kind of have for 2023, our number one recommendation generally for search is pay per click. This is because it works fast. And we could have you showing up here within a week, and we know that everyone needs customers as fast as possible. As much as, sometimes you say, yeah, but I skipped down, I ignore that stuff. If that was the case, sponsored results, Google ads, pay per click wouldn't exist. Uh, Newsflash, it still works, it still exists, and people convert and buy off of it every single day. Every single day. Matter of fact, someone did just right now. Ding! Every time bell rings, somebody clicked on a Google search ad. Anyways, I'm messing up movies with culture and anyways, I should probably head on to the next slide, right? I'm getting ahead of myself. But with that, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't be optimizing your listings and your website so that you can start to show up in the organic listings. The truth is, this is where most of the action is, right here in local search. Yes, pay-per-click is higher up on the page, but lots of users know their ads, so they'll usually skip, well, it says ad, right? So they usually skip down to the map listing where they know the results aren't bought and paid for. And it's important because if you're looking for a window replacement and you live in Tucson, you want to find someone who's local to you, who has good reviews, you know what their hours are, and you can kind of look at their website or get directions depending on, the windows you're looking to get. And to take it further, your search results is not what other people see. Depending on where you are when you do your search, the results will be different. So this is something quite fascinating. We tend to have a lot of discussions about this behind the scenes on a daily basis. Here's a search for roofing contractor in Baltimore with a 10-mile radius, just for an example. So the red circles that you're looking at indicates where this particular business is not showing up based on where people are searching. Now, while the green dots show that if you are in that exact location, probably close to the business address, this company will show up. This limits your business's opportunity to capitalize on active searchers if you're not showing up. And something to keep in mind is I can actually take a look at this for your competitors too. So if you're like, hey, Taylor, can you take a look at such and such competitor? What does their visibility look like? I can take a look and I can tell you. Those are some fascinating conversations that we have just around this. This is what we call the geo grid. So where do you show up in your local area? Something critically important. You want to make sure you're showing up high visibility as much as possible in the entirety of your service area. And if you're not, there's some work that needs to be done there, as shown by the red circles or the lack of red circles thereof. Obviously, we want to paint the map green. We want green happy dots all over the entire search area, service area, so that you're visible and showing up. Okay? Just to make that clear. Now, with active searchers, you have two options, pay-per-click or local SEO. And if you want to get in front of this audience, there are those are really the only two ways to get there. So what's next? Once you've tapped into search, you need to start creating awareness for your business with passive prospects. Remember, active searchers, tip of the iceberg, passive prospects, the rest of the people beneath the surface. Passive search is the next phase in our local domination roadmap and kind of the next tier up. Here at this stage, you're amplifying your awareness to tap into and activate customers who need your products but aren't actively looking. And this is best for really ideal customers on Facebook, Google, and your website, and existing clients who could buy more from you. And some of the strategies that we're going to take a look at here are what we call billboard and boomerang ads on Facebook and Google. So the truth about sales is people buy things because they feel like it. If you want to sell to these prospects, you need to make them feel like buying whatever it is you're selling. And social media is a great way to create awareness in that regard. And I see a lot of people trying to do this on their own, but there's a couple things that they're doing wrong. You see, they're using these social platforms to try and make people feel like buying their stuff. They're creating posts about things like a special deal that they have going on, or an announcement, or if they're open. That was a big thing back in 2020. Kind of sort of is today still, but still somewhat important. But these are all great things to talk about and create awareness around, for sure. But there's one problem with this approach. See, Facebook isn't showing these posts to as many people as they think. Facebook made a change a while back, and I've seen it progress over the years, that only shows these posts to a small percentage of the people who like your page. And when I say small, it is small. It's about 6 to 10% of your total followers. And that's just of the people who like your page. Sure, creating awareness with them is important, but that's just the beginning. Facebook, billboard, and boomerang ads are a great strategy to utilize here. The real opportunity is using these ads to get in front of all the other people who could be buying from you. And that's really where Facebook shines here. So, everybody knows Facebook knows everything about everyone, right? As a business, they let you use it to your advantage. And instead of wasting lots of money showing your ads to everyone in your local market, you can target just the people that fit your demographic. So, here's a local pool company running an ad. And it's actually a new ad that speaks to the pivot they made to their virtual pool planning service. And as you can see, it's crushing it. 538 likes, 186 comments, and 48 shares. And here's who they're likely targeting: homeowners in the top 10% of household income zip codes who are married, have children, are between the ages of 25 and 65, and a 50-mile radius from their office. I love it. It's like placing a billboard right in their front yard. Can't miss it. And they're the people that you want to target. Perfect, perfect strategy. Another type of ad is what we call a boomerang ad. And we call it that because it brings customers back to your site like a boomerang would. And I'm sure you've experienced this before. Let's say that you're shopping online for something, let's say golf clubs, because that's a thing now. And all of a sudden, this thing, this cookie, pixel, whatever you want to call it, you internet lingo heads, starts following you everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, different websites, and any site you go to, these set of golf clubs just keep following you around. And the reason that you see this type of strategy so often is because it works. When you're creating awareness with someone, they need to see your company and your offer over and over again in order to make it stick and push them to the next step. That's the 6 to 8 touch points that we need to do here before they actively consider and then buy. And now, when boomerang ads are paired with billboard ads, they become a great combination, and they give you an incredible opportunity to get your business in front of the right person and stick with them until they purchase. And for the particular example of this ad that you see on screen, who's likely seen this ad are those who have visited your website in the last 30 days, spent more than a minute on your site, and they haven't filled out the contact us form. So it's just really just bringing them back. So this is why we believe the local domination roadmap is the perfect marketing framework that you'll need for 2023 and the years to come. And if you're wondering where you should start, well, I'm going to be cutting clear here. It's the marketing foundation. Everything built atop that um, is critical. You have to build it in the right way to get the results you're looking for. So, which one of these three marketing secrets was your aha moment? Was it number one, what worked this crazy year to attract customers? Was it number two, the 3 ways 2020 confirmed finding customers on the internet? Had nothing to do with the yellow pages. It didn't exist at all. Or was it number three, the 4-step framework you'll need for 2023 and years to come? Right now, you have two choices. And we want to set you up for success in 2023. The first option is you can go it alone and try to figure this all out without any help. Or Number two, you can get it right the first time by learning from someone that has done it successfully over and over again. Um, I eat, sleep, and breathe this daily. The agency, this is all that we do. If you choose number two, it's a smart decision. And I want to let you know why. Because we want to give you, as our gift from us, a customized marketing playbook. This will help make 2023 the best year ever for your business. And now, when we give you this playbook, it truly lays out everything you'll need to succeed as a business when marketing your brand. And man, this playbook is killer. Um, Once you take a look into it, and it's customized. I know you're wondering, what's in the playbook? What am I going to get? Well, here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a customer activity local domination roadmap, the pyramid that we were just looking at. We're gonna address that. We're gonna be reviewing your existing marketing for the foundation, active and passive opportunities with a set of custom reports that we're gonna create for you. You're gonna get a custom GeoGrid local ranking report that shows exactly where in New Berlin you're ranking well, or the city that you're in, versus not well. And it's likely not what you think. It's that GeoGrid that I touched on briefly. You're gonna get that. Um, we're also going to do a search volume and competitor report for your keywords. And, you might be wondering, is it New Berlin implant dentist or dentist in New Berlin who do implants? Well, guessing wrong will cost you. So we're going to kind of look at some of those analytics. We're also going to look at your reputation and review report across multiple channels. It's much more powerful than word of mouth, and we kind of want to see what's happening there online because of it. We're also going to do an organic and paid strategy assessment to kind of identify where your biggest opportunity is for your next stage of growth. And then we're also going to take a look at your website health and age assessment. So we'll kind of address its strength and vulnerabilities there as well. So if you were to assign a dollar amount for your own custom marketing playbook, I want to break it down for you and let you know the full value of what you're about to get. You're going to get a customer activity, local domination roadmap. We're going to be reviewing your existing marketing for foundation, active, and passive opportunities. You're going to get a social media marketing report. You're going to get a search volume and competitor report for your keywords. You're going to get a reputation and review report across multiple channels. You're going to get an organic and paid strategy assessment, a website health, age assessment, and an expert consultation to go over that assessment with you one-on-one. That value is over $900 if we were to charge for it, but we don't. That's the fun thing that we want to give you as a gift. And we want to emphasize this. I want to make sure everyone on this free training can have access to your own customized marketing playbook for free. And what you do with that playbook, really, after that, is up to you. But I want to sweeten this up a little bit, and because we understand how important it is to capture active and passive searches on the internet with SEO, pay-per-click ads, and social media campaigns, I want to throw in another bonus for you. So uh, if you're watching this video right now, we want to set up your Apple Business profile for $97. Generally, we charge $300 for this. $300 value for only 97 bucks. And we want to make this first step as easy as possible, because we know if you're unsure, you want to start with something small. Well, let us set up your Apple Business profile to work for you. You can schedule that anytime in June, because it's right around the corner in June 2023. If you do that, this deal is locked in for you. If you're able to get a deal, schedule some time with us on our calendar. We'll lock that in for you until you're ready to launch. How awesome is that? So, with that being said, really, you can use this playbook several different ways. And the best part is you're going to get a copy of the playbook. And what you can do is you can hand this off to a tech-savvy employee, admin, or a coordinator you may have on staff. You can take this playbook and simply DIY it. Granted, it might be challenging because if this isn't your forte, you could be spinning your wheels. Plus, isn't your time better spent elsewhere, focusing on other important areas of your business? Or You can talk to us about our marketing services if you really want to have focus on your area of genius. That way, it frees you up and there's no risk. And I want to make this clear, you can do nothing or try to figure it out yourself. But keep in mind that we've been here for 4 years, refining these marketing strategies that have been, well, 4 to 5 years and 10 years prior to that freelancing. Um, Refining these marketing strategies, they've been proven to work not just for our clients, but for ourselves too. But if you decide to go at this alone, you'll probably waste countless hours figuring out where to start. And I want to be honest and upfront with that. Okay. You could actually get started. I've seen it, but realize the strategy you created isn't working and you just wasted time and money. Or you could get started, start seeing some results, but hit a plateau or worse, break something along the way. And then you'd ask us at Steadfast Social Media to fix it, which we're happy to help you with that. Don't get us wrong, but sometimes picking the pieces is difficult for any agency. So I want to reiterate again, you can get your free playbook by just going to the link below. And if you want to take advantage of the $97 marketing special, just let one of our team members know. If we can get you in on a calendar for June, we can get that deal locked in for you. All you have to do is head over to playbook.steadfastsocialmedia.com. And I'm not asking for the moon. We're just asking you to take the next step. But I want you to promise me one thing. Do something with what you've learned today. Okay? We have a deal. Awesome. Well, as I said, you can get your free playbook at playbook.steadfastsocialmedia.com. Uh, I will have questions. I will open up a custom Q&A session, an encore session at the end of this week, but I wanted to put this out there so that you're aware and you can take advantage of this playbook. And if you have any questions, you can either wait for that encore presentation to show up to ask your questions, or if you want to ask me directly, you can do that as well. I wanted to thank you so much for taking time to attend today. I hope this was valuable, insightful, helpful information for you. And promise me one thing, do something with what you've learned today. As always, be safe, be awesome. Thanks for coming. Thank you so much for your time and have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.